Konnichiwa, hello everyone. This episode will be sponsored by Bruce Springsteen and his Darkness on the Edge of Town box set. I'm a huge Boss fan. Um, but that's just randomness. I still do buy CDs. Do you buy CDs still? I'm old, so I buy CDs. We're going to talk about the JET program in this vlog. So this one is going to be directed specifically at people who are interested in coming to Japan as a member of the JET program to teach English at public schools. If you're not interested in the JET program, maybe this isn't a vlog for you, but if you're interested in Japan in general, perhaps there's some good information in here. And it's 2012, it's late September, so I know a lot of you are eagerly awaiting the application coming online so you can start the process of filling out all the forms you need to do to apply to become a JET. JET, really quick, most of you should know if you're on this channel, is Japan Exchange and Teaching Program, and it is how I first came to Japan in 2004, and I spent 5 years, the maximum time you can spend on JET, in a great town called Taisha in Shimane-ken in southwestern Honshu, Japan. And so this channel became popular and widely watched because of my vlogs about the JET program. Extensive vlogs. There's playlists on my main channel page to how to become a JET, how to apply for the JET program, the interview, etc., etc. So every year, even though I'm no longer a JET, I kind of revisit the topic because I do get a lot of PMs, a lot of questions, and I want to be as helpful as I can. Basically, and I'm sort of in a new, so many times I film a vlog and there's like that Batman poster behind me, and now it looks like Darth Vader's trying to grab my shoulder. So I'm in my bedroom and I just thought I would change the background a little bit. Basically, I get a lot of questions, and certainly I know more about JET than some random school counselor at your high school or perhaps even your college. But I'm certainly not as knowledgeable about JET as people at your consulate, at the Japanese consulate, where you will have to do your interview. If you're in America, for example, there's a consulate in Los Angeles, in San Francisco, in Hawaii, in Denver, in Phoenix, I think, and then of course all over the East Coast, Washington, D.C., New York, Philadelphia, blah, 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 Chicago. So, and this is the place where you'll have to go to do your interview. If you're in the UK, I think there's only one. I believe it's London, although there might be one in Ireland as well. But please check on that. And, the caveat right up front here, in the title of the video is questions I cannot answer. Do some research. You can ask me questions. I welcome questions. I try my best. I think if you guys don't talk to each other, my viewers, but if you did, you would be like, wow, Jason really goes out of his way to try and answer questions and be thoughtful and sincere in his responses. And I do, but some of the questions, it's like a simple Google search would really answer that just as quickly as you typing a long email to me. But there are things I cannot answer. And first of all, I stopped being a JET in 2009. So, that's 3 years ago now. Almost. Well, yeah, it's 3 years ago now. So, I haven't been a JET for a little while. Some things in the JET program have changed. For instance, the salary has changed. For like 20 years, it was the same 30 mon, 300,000 yen a month. And now it's a little less. On your first year, you get a little raise in your second year, a little raise in your third year, etc. What else has changed? There's something about early placement, and I think maybe they tried this last year where you could go and start at the start of the Japanese school year in April. So you applied and you would go to Japan in March. I don't know if that was just a one-year thing. I don't keep up on everything going on with JET, even though my vlogs are famous for talking about it. So what I'm saying here is be proactive. go to jetprogram.org, and that's Progamme, the British spelling of program, jetprogram.org, and get the latest, greatest information. I'll, of course, put the link down in the box if you're on YouTube. And really, the thing that I say to a lot of people that ask me certain questions is go to the forums at jetprogram.org. There's jet forums all over the place. Some of them are very helpful. Some of them are very cynical. You know, you have to take with a grain of salt a lot of what people say about the program, because people come here and get disgruntled, or, you know, stay only a year, and some people love it and seem like apologists for everything. So, you know, you have to make your own way through all this information. For example, here's some things that I get asked, and you know, I get asked a lot about, well, I'm married, I'm older. Now, I was older when I applied. I was 34 when I applied. I was 35 when I got on the plane in July and came in 2004. The theoretical age cap is 40 years old. This doesn't apply to like 90% of you are in your 20s when you apply. But you can apply as an older person. But if you're 38, do I still have a chance? I get this kind of question. I don't know. I really don't know. I've been behind the scenes a little bit in, you know, what they do. I understand how they look at the applications, the interview process, but I don't know what goes into saying who makes the cut and who doesn't. I'm not privy to that information. So, you know, you just go for it. I mean, I realize that a big part of JET is it's a long and torturous waiting process. You apply, you do a lot of work, you send it all off by the end of November. The deadline varies a little bit from country to country. Find out your deadline, and then you have to wait, you know, all through December, mostly through January, and then you find out generally in February if you got the interview. You have to then do the interview in February or March, and then wait more to know if you got in. So it's a lot of waiting, and it's torturous, but it's worth it if you get it. So, you know, I'm married. What do I do with my spouse? Blah, blah, blah. I was single when I came. The vast majority of Jets are single when they come over. I never knew a married couple. No, that's a lie. I did know one married couple when I was a Jet in Chemani that came over. They made them high school ALTs, and so they were in the same city. They lived in the same apartment, and they taught at different schools. One was fairly close to the apartment they lived in. One was farther away. And then one of his schools opted out of the JET program. His name was Tyler, and they reassigned him to a different school. Luckily, a high school ALT that was in the city they were in finished the program, said, okay, I'm going home, and so didn't recontract, and then he got assigned to his school. I've known a lot more Jets who have gotten married while they were over here. I knew one Jet, a good friend, Chris, who brought his fiancée with him. Her name was Susie, and they got married while they were in Japan. I've known other Jets that meet other Jets and get married. They meet, you know, a woman meets a Japanese guy, a guy meets a Japanese girl, they get married. So the one question I really don't know about is kids. Again, I've known Jets who've been married and had a child while here, but I've never known a Jet who brought a child or children with them. I just can't answer those questions. I have no experience in it. So those are questions. Go to the forums, jetprogram.org/forums, or just, you know, look around and click on forums. They have a good forum section. They're moderated. The information is mostly reliable, and you'll get answers. There are CIRs, Coordinators of International Relations, in various prefectures that volunteer their time to go on and read the forum and give advice and give links. And then there's somebody from the JET program, you know, main office, if you will, in Tokyo, who's also, I think, assigned to the JET forums and monitors and helps out. So you'll get somewhat authoritative quality responses through the JET forums at jetprogram.org. if you have these kind of specific, hey, I've got this specific situation question. Um, I've discussed gay and lesbian jets before. Of course you can apply. Of course you can come. Um, there's always, even if they don't tell their schools and their Japanese friends, there's always gay and lesbian jets in every prefecture every year. I think they do just fine. Uh, but that's a whole subject for another vlog. But there's, again, questions for them, and you can get advice and you can get answers from other gay and lesbian jets who've done it. I am not that. So again, I can help you a little bit and direct you, but I can't answer from experience because I don't have any. Um, what else do I get asked? I get asked a lot about, I'm this age, 18, 20, whatever it is, younger than graduation from college age. What should I do? They want the magic pill. They want the answer about what they can do to make their application stand out. And I don't know. I mean, certainly you can do things to help yourself uh, beyond just getting good grades, etc. But I don't really know you specifically from one email. Even if you write paragraph after paragraph about your situation, which I get some long ass emails, um, and I can't recommend a life course for you. I don't want to take that responsibility. What should I study? What should I major in? You can major in any subject. Your degree only matters to get you your work visa in Japan. It doesn't matter for the JET program what you studied. Of course, if you study English or education or something, I'm sure that looks good on the application, but it's not necessary. The vast majority of jets that I know studied biology, business. I was a history major, art. I knew a guy that was going to be a librarian. I knew another guy who was going to go back to medical school and become a dentist. Another guy who was a lawyer. I mean, anything is fine. So I can't give you that kind of life path advice. I'm just not qualified to do that. I don't know you well enough, and I just can't answer that for you. Of course, volunteer with children if you can. Work as a tutor. Work as a lifeguard. Get involved in, Boys and Girls Club of America, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, whatever. I mean, think about it. You're going to be working with children. Unless you really want to be a high school ALT. I mean, what are some things that will look good on an application? JET is a job. You're applying for a job against a lot of other very qualified people nowadays. Do you have to study Japanese? No. Should you study Japanese? Of course. It's going to help you immensely when you get here and live, in day to day. But don't do it, like, you have to take the courses in college that will help you graduate, etc. If you can fit Japanese into that, great. I minored in Japanese studies, which is something my college, UCSD, offered. If you can do something like that, that's great. If you can study outside, that's great too. So, if you want to be a CIR, then it's a whole nother playing field as far as Japanese ability, etc. And business experience, internships, things that you should look for in that nature to help you get the CIR position, but that's such a small percentage of you. So I can't really answer questions about, what should I do to be the best candidate for JET. I will tell you, as I've said this before in many other videos, write a fantastic 2-page self-introduction, no, not self-introduction, statement of purpose, they call it, SOP. That is very important and gets looked at and often commented upon in the interview when you get to that stage. I used to help people write them. I've read some really lousy ones. You are applying to teach the English language. Your SOP should be free from punctuation errors, grammar errors. It should flow well, have a good introduction, a strong conclusion. You got to really think about that and do well on that 2 pages. The other thing that can really help you in the application packet is your letters of recommendation. Think hard about who you're going to pick and ask to do it. Give them plenty of time to do it. They might show you what they wrote inside. They don't have to. The envelope is sealed, so you're not supposed to obviously open it and look at what they wrote. But some teachers, if they will, uh, you know, print 2 copies and say, okay, here's what's inside the envelope. So think a lot about the person that you're going to hand that to, because those 2 letters weigh heavily. Your application is given given points. Everything in your application is assigned a point value, and say it's 100 points. I'd say the letters of rec and the essay are literally almost like 40 or 50 of those 100 points. Just those 2 things. Everything else, your grades and what extracurriculars you were in, what you've been doing, can you speak Japanese, doesn't necessarily count against you if you can't, for instance, but maybe you get some points if you can. Of course, there's all different kinds of jets. Some jets they want only to teach at elementary school. Those jets need some Japanese to be able to communicate. If you teach at high school, you can probably get by with 0 Japanese. So they'll put you places. Can you drive? Don't worry if you say no. Some jets are in places where they need to be able to drive, some are not. Do you need to pick a place that you want to live? I recommend that you do, because it shows you've done some research about Japan. But I get so many questions for very, very specific things, like, I was on a homestay and blah, 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 Ken, and, I met this, and I want to apply here and here and here. The big thing I can recommend, and so these people are very inflexible when they fill out the application. They want to go to a specific place, and if they don't get it, they're not interested. Jet's highly competitive. It used to be about 1 in 3 people got in. Now it's about 1 in 6, and you have to be flexible. Japan is an adventure. It's a small country. So if you get placed somewhere not close to Tokyo, which the majority of you will, don't freak out. You can still go to Tokyo. You can still travel around Japan. You get paid well. If you're a single person, you will have money and time, believe me, to travel, to see other parts of Japan. So I don't want to be Dr. No. I've been on kind of a Bond kick lately. That's Dr. No. Oh, right over here in katakana. I don't want to just say no and stuff, but sometimes you guys send me really long emails with, this kind of, I have this medical thing, I have this thing on my criminal record, I have this thing. I mean, very specific questions about your situation. And of course, I'm not qualified necessarily to tell you, yes or no, or this is going to prevent you from doing this or something. I always do my best, but really, there should be a liaison, a person at the jet consulate where you will eventually go for your interview, that their job basically is to coordinate the jet program for that Japanese consulate, and they find out who that person is, and an email for them, and just say, hey, I'm thinking about applying, here's the situation, can you give me some advice? Be pleasant, be flexible, do it way before the deadline so they have time to get back to you, because they're super busy right now too. That's all I can say, is just be prepared, do your best, and don't worry too much. Look at my other videos. If you still have questions after you've watched through a bunch of the applying videos and stuff, feel free. Leave a comment here. Go to my Facebook page and post something there, because more people can see it than just me and you. So maybe you'll answer someone else's question and help out that way. Or go ahead and send me a PM here on YouTube. I check them 2 or 3 times a week, so if you don't get a response right away, don't freak out. I will try my best to give you an answer, but there are lots of other resources out there besides just me, is what I guess I want to say. And I want you to get the best information you can get. And that's not always going to be from me, but of course I will try my best to help you. Okay, this is a long video, but I hope you watched all the way through if you're a jet applicant this year, and good luck. And I'm sure I'll make a few other jet-related videos between now and the end of November. Okay, peace, guys. See ya.